Adelaide's 5AA.
Partly cloudy tonight, a low of 9 with the 3 o'clock news. I'm Michaela Kamara.
Are your dentures uncomfortable or causing you problems? Contact the experienced caring team at Dentures Direct today.
The Prime Minister has refused to be drawn on current criticism of the Governor-General. General David Hurley is facing questions over his involvement in a secret ministerial power grab by Scott Morrison. He appointed the former PM 5 extra ministerial portfolios during his time in office, but it was up to Mr Morrison to inform his colleagues. Anthony Albanese says the lack of transparency is a stain on our democracy.
I have no intention of undertaking any criticism of the Governor-General. The Governor-General acted in accordance with the recommendations of the government of the day. The government of the day has to accept responsibility for this.
Extra precautions will be in place at this year's Royal Show to keep animals safe from the deadly foot and mouth disease. Michelle Hocking from the show says there'll be foot mats at all public entrances, and showgoers are being asked to wear clean clothes and shoes, wash their hands and not feed or touch the animals.
I think what we need to just remind people is that Australia is FMD free. And so we are putting different measures in place this year, but it's all about an opportunity to educate people that if it was in the country, what you would need to be doing.
The show runs from September 3 to 11. Wages growth will be top of the agenda at an upcoming Jobs and Skills Summit. New data shows pay packets have risen by 0.7% in the 3 months to June, well behind the rate of inflation. About 100 industry and business leaders are meeting the federal government next month. Treasurer Jim Chalmers says it's an opportunity to find practical solutions.
We want to make sure that we're getting productivity growth. We want to make sure that we're filling labour and skill shortages around the country. We want to make sure that we're investing in the industries which will create more of those secure, well-paying jobs into the future.
Republican Liz Cheney, a fierce critic of Donald Trump, has lost her seat in the US Congress to a woman who supports the former president's unfounded claims of voter fraud. Ms Cheney says she could have easily won the primary election if she had kept quiet about Mr Trump's claims, but says that was a path she wasn't willing to take. The BBC's Joe Sudworth has more about Donald Trump's response to the vote.
He will, of course, see this as a major victory. He handpicked Harriet Hageman to stand against Liz Cheney. He has made no secret of his absolute contempt for her, given her vote to impeach him, and in particular by joining one of only 2 Republicans in the House of Representatives to join the committee investigating his attempts to cling to power. He said that this should be seen as a rebuke to a committee of what he called hacks and thugs, and he said he hoped that Liz Cheney would now disappear into the depths of political oblivion.
Now turning to 5AA Sport, another Croy has put pen to paper on a contract extension. Elliot Himmelberg will stay at Westlakes for at least 2 more years. The 24-year-old has played 38 games for the club since being drafted in 2016. Geelong veteran Patrick Dangerfield says the ladder-leading Cats are in a good position to win the flag this year. But ahead of his 300th game this weekend, Dangerfield says ending his career as a premiership player isn't the be-all and end-all.
It's the finishing piece, if you will, but I don't think that necessarily defines players. It's what we all play for, but there's so much of our game that I think you take enjoyment from, not just the final game in September. Now, clearly that would be a wonderful thing to achieve.
And Nick Kyrgios has moved into the second round of the Cincinnati Open, while fellow Aussie Alex de Minaur also won his first round clash in straight sets. Now checking 5AA traffic.
At McGill Road, plates are in use on Penfold Road and McGill Road. That's following an earlier burst water main. At Parracombe, Gorge Road is closed between Corkscrew Road and Torrens Hill Road while they clear a rock slide. And at Findon, bitumen works continue. Crittenden Road near Broadford Court affecting both directions. Got a lane closed and speeds of 25. Busy at the moment, the parade at Kensington Gardens with cameras Goldsmith Drive, Noarlunga Downs and Concord Drive at Old Ranella. Want a Netflix subscription included in your internet plan? Get more choice when you switch to Optus Home Internet, the home of better internets. It starts with yes. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast. Cloudy tonight, a low of 12. Rain at times tomorrow, 16. Friday showers increasing, 15. And Saturday showers, 16. Right now it's 15 degrees. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News Tonight.
Child neglect horror. A little boy found with burns and bruises. His mother and uncle charged. Scott Morrison's secret ministry scandal. The former PM faces the cameras and rejects calls to resign. How a nap in a drive-through allegedly uncovered a large theft operation. And the new COVID test, billed as a do-it-yourself PCR. I'm Brenton Raglis. See the full story on 9 News tonight at 6.
It's a Berkowitz Big Brand Sale. Save up to 25% online or in store at Berkowitz Mile End.
This is Jade Robran.
Hello, welcome to Tech Talk.
FIVEAA Tech Talk with Richard Pascoe.
Richard Pascoe, thanks to Harvey Norman Computers, your technology specialist. Good afternoon. Great to see your face.
Great to see you too, Jade. I was listening to your interview about the Carl Williams thing before.
Carl Williams? Carl Webb?
Oh, Carl.
Not the bikie.
There we go. Yeah, caught on. That's good to say yes. I just thought you'd throw that gag in at the beginning. Say yes.
Well,
imagine if you found out you're related to Carl Williams.
Well,
wouldn't that be? You go, I just might change my name.
I've got a fascinating story one day I'll share with you where I was working for Today Tonight and I ended up in the household of Roberta Williams.
Oh.
And Judy Moran rang me on my other phone. So you could imagine how that looked to matriarchs that hated each other.
I know.
Anyway, that is a story for a whole another day.
Fascinating story, yes.
It was a very fascinating afternoon, but I lived to tell the tale.
As you should. Underbelly with Jade Robran.
Kind of. Anyway, if you'd like to talk tech, 8223 0000 is the number to call. Talk mobile phones, security cameras, computers, you name it. Anything
TVs.
today. TVs.
Good time to buy a TV.
Is it?
Yeah, because all the new models are coming out. So if you've thought about going along and buying a new TV, I reckon it's a great time to go along and do it. We've got some TCL TVs coming out with mini LED screens in them now, which means
what?
It's it's all about how everything's illuminated, how we make everything blue. We make blues really look blue, blacks really look black, nice and bright on there. So it's even more realistic screen.
How do you know your TV's dying?
That's a great question.
I feel like my TV's dying.
Oh no! How old is it?
Oh, it's not that old. It's a Kogan one that I bought.
Oh, there we go.
Well, I know, and I know that, and it was for the kids, and it's ended up being in our main living room, and they've ended up getting the good TV because that's what kids do. They take from you all the time. So Ben and I have been left with the crappy one that has been okay for I don't know, maybe a year.
I don't think they will ever sponsor this segment. We'll just put that right out there at the moment.
Maybe not, but anyway. It was okay for a while. And look, it might not be dying. It might just be what I'm doing to it.
Colours start to fade on it.
No, it's not doing that.
On the side, and if you go to the side of the TV, it will literally look black and white. You have to stand in front of the TV and it'll look reasonably coloured.
Yes.
Go to the side, it goes to really black and white on there as well. It's a sign that everything's not working properly on there. It might start to flicker on and off occasionally.
Oh yeah, we're sort of starting to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, might be
Do
time.
yourself a favour, but get rid of the TV. But some of last year's models are all getting reduced.
Oh yeah, that's a good trick, like your iPhone trick.
Exactly right. So they're all getting reduced in price at the moment. So there's some really, really good bargains out there on TVs. And remember, if you're after a brand that has nearly the same features as the big names out there like LG and Samsung, who make wonderful TVs, Sony make wonderful TVs, but TCL and Hisense are a great budget brand out there.
I've had a Hisense in the past. It lasted for years. It was great.
Great TVs.
Okay.
And good sound on them as well.
So now is a good time to buy TVs. Now is also a good time to upgrade your all your Apple and Samsung.
No, not really.
No.
No. So let's wait until September. Now, for all these, we're going to keep reminding people. So if you need an iPhone or an Apple Watch, we're not going to be buying it now. We wait till September, and I think it's been around about the 13th of September. Apple should have their announcement. They'll be on sale a week later. So if you really need one, if you smash it, you're going to go and buy one. There's nothing wrong with the iPhone 13 as well.
Like I did last week.
Like you did last week. But, you might want to wait for a while. Now we can add to the list of things not to buy. So all retailers are so happy with me at the moment about not buying. Let's add the iPad and the iPad Pro as well. The basic iPad is probably going to get its biggest update that we've seen. That should come in October now.
What's it going to look like?
Should have USB-C on there. The Wi-Fi will be updated, and the screen will be. They're telling all the rumours are starting to come down now, but it's pretty definite. They'll have the iPhone event in September, have an iPad event in October.
And then last week when we were chatting, I think you were heading into the Samsung launch as well,
Yeah,
weren't
we
you?
had
So what was that like?
So the Samsung, it was all right. It's not.
You've been to better parties?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not. Yeah. It's. Love you all, Samsung people out there. I think Samsung make wonderful phones, and people go along. There are articles in the paper about how good the Samsung Fold phones are and the flip phones. I think they're really well made. I think they've got lovely screens on them, and they're saying they're going to become the dominant phone. They've got a fair way to go, because this year they'll probably only command 2.6% of the market. So we're talking...
You're joking. Is that what the domination Apple have?
No, but Samsung have 500 different varieties of phones.
Radio.
So, but Apple are not the dominant player in there, but it really is for so many people out there. People say, the flip phone is the thing of the future. It might be in a few years' time, but at 2.6%, we can't call it that at the moment.
What's the flip phone?
That folds out. So all the new Samsung Folds are basically, you've got your phone, it will fold out to a bigger phone like a mini tablet. Great cameras on there. I think I'll get the price in a minute, but they're about $2,499 up to $3,000 for the phone.
So you know those old images of the early 90s of those people walking down a street holding a big brick to their heads?
Yes.
What, everything old is new again?
A bit. But it's got screen, it folds out, and it looks nice, and yeah.
Interesting. Paul's on the line. Hello, Paul.
Hi there. G'day. I just want to ask, after a software update on my Android, I got a Samsung.
Yeah.
And now I have Microsoft launcher on there, and
yes.
It keeps popping up with I think it's my antivirus keeps bringing it up that it's on there. And
what antivirus have you got on there, Paul?
Bitdefender.
Yeah, do yourself a favour, Paul. Take that off.
He's not a fan, Paul. He does not like that one.
Not a fan.
I know, but
Paul is.
Paul. Yeah. I've done a lot of research, and
no, you haven't. No offence to you, Paul. Right, so the apps, if you get them from the Google Play Store, they're all scanned and they go on to, when they come onto your phone. And, there's nothing wrong with the Microsoft launcher if you got it from the Google Play Store.
I don't remember getting it, that's the thing. It might have been with a software update. But
no, delete it, Paul.
Yeah, okay.
But Bitdefender on it, a lot of the antivirus apps on smartphones, I'm a bit... On an Apple phone, you don't need one at all. So many people, retailers and telcos will tell you do because they make more money out of you when that happens on there. And I think they should be concentrated on selling products, not antivirus software. But
I have the family package on my computer and all my devices.
Yep.
So I did a fair bit of research, but. I know Harvey Norman to sell the ones that you mentioned quite a lot. So,
yeah, but any antivirus, you're the first link, Paul. So if you do the wrong thing, it might be good at cleaning up after the event. It doesn't do much on a smartphone at all. But, it's about you keeping the device up to date, making sure that you do, like every update on there as well, not browsing to unsafe websites and not opening up every email. That's 95% of security on a device. Whether it's a computer, a smartphone, or a tablet.
True.
All right.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks very much for calling in. We're going to take a really short break. We've only got Richard Pascoe for a few more minutes, so please don't leave it to the last minute. Otherwise, you may miss out on speaking with him. Give us a call now, 8223 0000, and of course, the text line is open, 0448 08 1395.
It's game on this Saturday for an epic showdown 52.
So make sure you catch up with me, Rowie, and my new co-host Timmy G before the bounce.
Look, you'll find us both at 5:30 in the Southern Plaza, talking all things Port and Crows in the lead up to the big game.
It's all thanks to Adelaide Exposed Concrete. Follow them on Instagram today for your chance to win a $300 Rebel gift voucher.
Yeah, we'll see you at Showdown. Go the power.
Please, come the Crows.
At Coles, get $15 off and 10 times Flybuys points when you spend $200 or more in one transaction online. Just enter the code SAVE15 at the checkout. Coles, value the Australian way. T's and C's apply. Offer ends August 30.
Oh, that's awful news, Jen.
What?
Jack said the builders hit rock when they were digging your foundations.
Oh, that's fine.
Really? Must be expensive, all that extra work.
Not for us. We're with Rossdale. Their absolute fixed price contract guarantees no builder variations. So only we can change the price.
Seriously? That's amazing.
Yeah. That's why we chose them. No stress and only nice surprises.
Nothing's as strong as Rossdale Homes' absolute fixed price contract. Rossdale Homes, because trust is a must. T's and C's apply.
Hi, I'm Gerald Quigley, a community pharmacist of over 50 years. Did you know approximately 340,000 Australians are living with Alzheimer's disease? Suvenaid is a medical drink backed by 20 years of research that may assist in slowing memory and cognitive decline in early Alzheimer's disease when taken daily over 3 years. Suvenaid, available at major pharmacies nationwide. Data on file. Visit memorydrink.com.au. Use under medical supervision.
Where can you smash a snowball and win your share in $10,000? Sky City. Where else? Simply collect your wristband from 6 p.m. each Saturday night and place your wristband stub in the win to barrel. There's free draws every Saturday. And if your entry is drawn, you can smash your way to cash and win a share in $10,000. Entry is free, but you've got to be there to smash for cash. Sky City. T's and C's apply. Visit skycityadelaide.com.au for details. Licence number T22/758.
Not long now, Adelaide. Your favourite Harris scarf reopens with a brand spanking new look 9 a.m. next Thursday at Westfield Marion. You'll want to be there early for the one-off doorbuster deals, unmissable grand opening offers, celebrations, free coffee to fuel your shopping marathon, and gift vouchers up for grabs. And did we mention the doorbuster deals? Block your diaries, tell your friends. Harris Scarf, Westfield Marion. Grand reopening, 9 a.m. next Thursday.
It's been 18 years since the Wallabies played in Adelaide, but they are back. Watch them take on the world champion Springboks on August 27 in an epic doubleheader. Buy your tickets now at wallabies.rugby.
You don't have to be a curator to find artworks you can't get anywhere else in the world. Just visit Art by FIVEAA. They're proud to host unique Indigenous artworks in their gallery, and even prouder sending these artworks home to be admired for years to come. All pieces at Art by FIVEAA are ethically sourced, directly supporting Indigenous artists and communities. Visit the incredible range at 1070 South Road, Edwardstown. Art by FIVEAA, a family company specialising in Indigenous art.
It's a Berkowitz Big Brand Sale. Save up to 25% online or in store at Berkowitz Mile End.
This is Jade Robran.
Welcome back to Tech Talk. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers, your technology specialist. They bring us Richard Pascoe each and every week. And if you'd like to talk tech, 8223 is the number to call.
I was going to say, Joe, we had all those calls from Carlton in Melbourne before. They weren't very nice, were they? But let's move on.
Oh, be careful what you wish for. That is one group of people I do not want to mess with. Hey, I want to ask you about Apple AirTags, because we've heard so many great stories about how people have been able to retrieve their luggage that have been, so supposedly lost in airports for weeks upon end. What do you do if you find one on yourself? This is weird.
I've had a couple of people ring and ask about this.
Okay.
And it's got to do with stalking and exes.
Bloody
because
hell.
I end up dealing with this a lot of the time. So you split up from your partner, and then suddenly you get a message on your phone saying, I've got an Apple AirTag is somewhere in your car. Because the phone can go along and say, hang on a minute, you've got an AirTag that doesn't belong to you on your person at the moment.
Ah, so your own. Okay, sorry.
Right.
Say that again. If you've got a tag on you,
If
your
your tag's
phone will pick
sitting
it up.
under the seat, your phone will pick it up.
And just give you a little warning going, hang on.
It will tell you the last 4 numbers of the phone number that owns that AirTag as well. So, if you
smart.
Which I think is very smart out there, because you might go, hang on a minute, that's the phone number of my ex. It will give you some minor advice about it. So Apple are pretty strict about this when this happens. So if you find one on it, you basically take your phone, you hold it right next to the AirTag, whether it's an Android phone or an Apple phone, it will start to give you information about it.
Okay.
And being able to make sure that you can go along and turn the thing off. I've actually put all the instructions up on my website right now for adelaidetechguide.com.au so that you can make sure that if one is in your car, you've got everything turned on, ready to find that. Because a lot of people turn off their location and they do other things. They talk about privacy. But this will give you all the settings. So if there's one secreted on you or somebody, because I've had people who've gone out with other people and they've slipped one into their jacket to see where they're going.
You are kidding me.
No, I'm not.
What world are we living in where people are doing that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's gross.
It is.
So here we are thinking that they're used for good, for, finding your luggage.
99% of people use them for good.
Yeah, but it's the scary 1% doing the awful things.
And, Apple are knocking this on the head as quick as they can. So it's about getting the word out there that, Apple AirTags I think are great. They do a great service out there as well. But if you've got let's say you've split up badly from somebody, they might put one in your car, one in your glove box, under the seat. You've got to just make sure that you know how to go along and go.
And you've had people contact you saying they found them.
Yeah.
That would freak you out.
It does.
Don't get me wrong. I've thought, going to the Adelaide show, I'll pop one in each of the boys', back pockets.
But that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea.
That's as loose as where my mind would go with something like
exactly
that,
right.
not in a sinister kind of way.
But we do get people who do things in a sinister kind of way, especially in bad breakups. And, for it, say, you've got to go along and just make sure that, so what? If it happens or it's going to happen, this is what I need to turn off on my phone or turn on my phone to recognise it's about to happen.
I wonder how that falls in the court of law with surveillance and following somebody.
I've put the statement up there from Apple as well on my on the website, and they're going, if they get contacted by law enforcement, they will be on the victim's side straight away and they'll give them as much information as they can.
Okay, excellent. We've got Paul on the line. Hello, Paul.
Good afternoon, guys. How are we?
Good, Paul. Good, thanks.
Good. I recently updated my Oppo A53 to update 12 or version 12.
Yep.
And now I'm continually hearing little beeps in the background, like receiving messages.
Right.
But Google is not. I don't have Google activated, and I'm not receiving any messages on my screen or notification bar. It'll just do it randomly at no specific time.
It'll just beep like you've got a notification.
Yeah, it used to be I turned off Hey Google because I get paranoid about that. But,
no, that's all right. Google's your friend, Paul. It's not,
it's
not the ACCC's friend, but it's your friend.
Yeah, but like I say, it just does the odd notification sound, but there is no notifications coming to the phone.
There's got to be some sort of Do you get any notifications, Paul?
The phone is working perfectly apart from that. It's just a frustration, annoying thing. That's what it is.
That's weird.
So in your sounds, have you gone through and checked? Have you turned it all off first? Have you restarted your phone?
Yes, I have done that, yes. And I've tried to look for other answers, and I can't seem to find anything.
It's got to be a notification. Emails?
Everything works perfectly, yes.
But you just get a beep.
Yeah, you just hear the beep, just hear the notification beep and no notifications coming through.
But have you turned off notifications?
No, I can try that.
Turn it off.
Yep.
That'll be the first thing I do. Turn it off and see if you still get those beeps coming through.
Cool, thank you.
All right.
Do I have a quick half a minute?
Sure.
Also, there was a recent TV program about people getting chased and hunted down.
Yep.
And they were talking about a burner phone. I didn't think we was able to have burner phones in Australia.
Yeah, we're talking about the Hunted show, aren't we, Paul?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
I'm going to apply for that next season.
I didn't watch it.
Yes, because I reckon I could outrun them easily.
I'm sure you could with all your little paraphernalia.
So, Paul, that's one you pick up at a petrol station, but you would still have to, Paul, give them a driver's licence or something.
That's what I would have thought, because they thought we can't trace the people because they're using a burner phone and they've dumped it. But I suppose that could be television sensationalism too.
I think so, Paul, and that's one of the... Yeah, I thought that exactly the same thing as you did.
Yep, all right. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thank
Paul.
you.
Thank you very much. Rob's just messaged in with some great advice about when you take your kids to the show. Jade, first thing you do as you walk into the show grounds, or any event for that matter, is to stop, take a photo of your kids, then you have the most up-to-date pic of them and what they are wearing in case the unthinkable happens and you need to describe them or provide a photo to the police. And you may struggle in a high-stress situation to remember the little things.
That's a good idea.
That is a fantastic idea,
Do you
isn't
know what
it?
you could do, Jade, also? Don't take them to the show.
Oh, you could. Bar humbug.
Yes.
No. The other thing I've learnt to do is write your phone number on their hand, on the back of their hand.
Yep.
That's also another good trick. Or they keep saying to me, "Why don't you just get us a phone?" No, you're too young.
How old are they?
9 and 10.
Get them burner phones from the service station.
No. What age do you give your kids a mobile phone these days?
When they're... see,
I know it's a personal choice, but it's a very interesting conversation, I reckon.
I think it is too, and I think probably 13, 14. They don't need a phone before that. And people will go, back in, when I went to school, there was an emergency, you went to the phone box.
Yeah, you did.
You
Or
know,
the front office.
at the school, you had to go to the front office and say, "Can you ring my mum, please?" And but it didn't matter because my mum was never home, so it didn't, I'll just go home now. So, yeah, everybody wants to be online all the time. So 12, 13.
I don't want to do that.
No.
Android 13 is out now.
This is a problem with updates for a lot of people out there. So we had the guy before saying Android 12 was just on. Well, Android 13 has just come out now. It's only available for Google Pixel phones, so it will come down to the others eventually, and it'll only come down to phones for probably the last 2 to 3 years. And it's probably the big problem with Android is that when a new update gets released, like this, a major operating system update, some phones get it, then they'll give it to somebody else, and then it'll slowly come down because it's got to go to... So Google will send it to the phone maker, so it's got to go to Oppo and Samsung and all the different ones. Then they've got to modify it. They've got to send it to the telco who sends it on down. Apple just go, there's the update, all straight to the phones, done. And that's why some phones, Android phones, are still on Android version 9 and 10 and 11. It's a bit all over the place. But Android version, if you've got a Google Pixel, lovely phone, press that button, update it right now.
Just quickly, Marco's messaged in saying, the My Optus app is no longer working on my phone. Yes, Optus is actually no Optus. From
Uninstall it and try again, Marco. Download a brand
delete
new...
it?
Delete it and get a brand new copy from the Google Play Store.
So when you have to delete an app, do you sign out of it or you just delete?
No, just delete it. Hold your finger on it, and on an Android, you just write remove.
Easy. Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And if you would like to contact Richard Pascoe, you can jump onto his website, adelaidetechguide.com, and you'd like to have the last word, yes?
I would too. I've had 5 people cancel with COVID for the rest of the week. So if you want to book me,
you're free.
Feel free to. I can come and see you.
Brilliant. And best way to contact you?
Is through adelaidetechguide.com.au.
Nice. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jade.
We're going to take a really short break. Coming up on the other side, if there was someone that I could say that you could, or something, maybe a mammal that you could bring back from the dead, would you do it? Would you play God as such if science allowed you to? Well, a group of people are thinking that they might like to bring back the extinct Tasmanian tiger. We'll cover that story next.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Good afternoon, I'm Michaela Kamarek. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese says his predecessor owes the Australian public an apology over his secret power grab. Extra precautions will be in place at this year's royal show to keep animals safe from the deadly foot and mouth disease. Republican Liz Cheney, a fierce critic of Donald Trump, has lost her seat in the US Congress, and Elliot Himmelberg will stay at West Lakes for at least 2 more years after signing a contract extension. Partly cloudy this afternoon, currently it's 15 degrees. More news at 4 o'clock and As It Happens on 5AA.
Sunday evenings on 5AA. Adelaide crime like you've never heard it before.
It's an actual case that happened in this town.
Understand the true nature of Adelaide's famous seedy underbelly with Adelaide's expert courts reporter Sean Fuster.
Uncensored, unfiltered.
Joined by partner in crime Daniel Panozzo.
The other side that we wouldn't normally get.
For Just Lawful, the Adelaide crime stories that will leave you stunned.
Treading over some very fraught areas.
Just Lawful, Sundays from 7 on Adelaide's 5AA.
When you switch to Aldi, you'll save more on everyday items, like pet food. What have we got here? Here you go, boy. And then you can spend more on other things, like pet training. Come on, do a backflip, Goldie. Who's a good fish? So don't change your lifestyle. Change your supermarket. Aldi. Good, different. Now, roll over.
Introducing the all-new Kia Niro. Available as a hybrid or full electric model, this SUV is smarter than your average car. Featuring Kia Connect technology. Take control of your Niro with your smartphone. Cold out? Turn up the heat before you get in. Forgot where you parked? Relax. The app will lead the way. The all-new Kia Niro in hybrid or all-electric. It's smarter than your average car.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Think this is just a hose with holes in it? No way, Jose. This is Pope Drippies. Deceptively clever irrigation made right here in Australia. Drippies drips drops onto plants precisely with a low, slow flow. So there's less runoff and less water wasted. Whether watering your flower beds or veggie garden, Pope Drippies will make it a breeze.
A better way to water is a Pope.
Jack's Tyres and Auto do more than just look after your tyres, they also do vehicle servicing. They reckon it's their best kept secret, but it's probably not a secret anymore. You see, your local Jack store has the expertise to offer a total peace of mind driving experience, because Jack's is a brand that offers value, trust and convenience. Combining the highest quality products and services, they measure their success by your satisfaction. Visit your local Jack's Tyres and Auto store today.
Phil Hoffman Travel welcomes you to enjoy all-inclusive luxury cruising, where hand-selected itineraries take you to places beyond the reach of larger ships, all aboard a seaborne ship. A cruise aboard a seaborne ship is luxurious yet relaxed, elegant yet casual, sumptuous yet understated. Book now and wake up with a whole new view. Book by August 31st and receive a complimentary 2-category veranda suite upgrade and a reduced deposit. Contact Phil Hoffman Travel today, pht.com.au.
Feel that chill? Winter is here, and so are high heating bills. Trade Services SA can install an air conditioner that heats and cools your home from just $599. That's a saving of more than 70% off normal price, thanks to the state government's REPS initiative, which encourages people to reduce energy. Visit tssa.com.au to see if you're eligible. That's tssa.com.au. Terms and conditions apply.
It's the Berkowitz Big Brand Sale. Save up to 25% online or in store at Berkowitz Mile End.
This is Jade Robran.
Good beat there, Timmy G. Oh, welcome to the show. What's happening in your world?
Well, lots of things are happening, of course. You may have seen Alistair Clarkson's in town. I've got the Channel 7 chopper. He's following him wherever he goes, a bit like the OJ chase.
Oh, poor Alistair Clarkson.
Look, it's all innocent. It's all innocent. He's actually here visiting a sick friend. So, and I thought pretty classy. He sent a text to Ken Inkley to say, "That's what I'm doing, mate." So, obviously people will see me. It's all good. Nothing to see here.
Nice?
Yeah, I think that's
God, he's a
classy of him.
professional.
Yeah. So it's still heated up, though. I mean, the whole Essendon saga now is obviously they're going to have a red hot crack at him. It's just it's in his court now. I mean, as far as if you're playing cards, he's got all the cards stacked in his deck.
Oh man, this contract he's signing is going to be sweet.
Yeah, it's going to be a cracker.
But doesn't he have to give North Melbourne the answer by the end of the day?
Well, we've got some intel on that as well.
Oh, okay.
Well, basically saying do not make it a demand. just say, we'd like to know, because if you force him into a corner, guess what's going to happen?
He'll be telling you, see you later.
He'll go the other way. So, yeah, it's a really delicate game at the moment because North Melbourne definitely want him and they put a lot of work into that. It's just this last-minute interference, if you like, which we're assuming is coming from the Bombers. So, yeah.
I tell you what, I feel for Ben Rutten. I really do. I mean, you know, I know this is the
Great
game,
guy,
this is what
and
you
he's
sign
only-
up for,
only-
but this is playing out right in front of his face. It's, hello, your club doesn't want you.
And you basically have no say in it.
Nothing.
And it's really tough. But
pretty
you're right. I
rude.
mean, he's only in his second season as a senior coach.
Yeah.
And for it to be playing out like it is not great for him. No, I agree.
And if that's where Alistair Clarkson goes, he is inheriting a pretty good team. I mean, there's some talent there, isn't there?
There's some talent there. What's probably been frustrating and disappointing for the Bombers fans is that they haven't been able to translate it. So they're getting frustrated. But we'll have Brodie Smith on because he's a regular on Wednesdays, which is great. And the great Lee Matthews as well. So we'll get great insight into everything that's happening.
Beauty. And he's fairly old school, isn't he, with all the coaching and footy and everything. So I'll be interested to see his take on how this is all playing out.
He's a straight shooter.
He is a straight shooter.
I love that.
Thank you
See you,
very
Jade.
much, Timmy. Timmy G and Rowie coming up after 4 o'clock today. Busy, busy show. Lots happening every hour. It seems like that the twist and turn in that Essendon, North Melbourne, Alistair Clarkson love triangle, isn't it? Let's move on to our next story. Well, Torrensville Community Childcare Centre has done a bit of a backflip on banning superhero and princess costumes from Book Week. Now, if you're not quite aware of what Book Week is, it's a week, which I love actually, where kids dress up as their favourite book character and celebrate the day. It's all pretty harmless. Some years I have completely knocked it out of the park, I have to say. Other years, not so much, and the kids have gone, I don't know, with whatever we can wrangle in the morning, but that's okay, because it's just about having fun. Anyway, parents at the community centre were sent a message that said children wearing those costumes would be removed because they might negatively impact social play. Okay, so they've now written to parents to say that they would like them to dress up as their favourite book character, with the theme this year being Dreaming with Your Eyes Open, and we would like to encourage children and families to plan their dress-ups and advise that we do not expect you to purchase or pre-made costume. Now, I'd like to know how an innocent and fun day has yet again been turned, I guess, into a political playpen yet again. Joining us is Rachel Hedger, lecturer in early childhood at Education and Care in Flinders University. Rachel, thank you so much for joining the program. Good afternoon.
Hi Jade, how are you?
I'm good. Am I missing something here?
It's always a bit of a tricky balance because I think some people feel that children's costumes should be directly connected to a story for Book Week, and so some of those superhero and princess costumes might not be appropriate, but children can still develop their understanding of literacy through their engagement with these stories, such as thinking about plot and understanding that stories have a beginning, middle and end, understanding different characteristics and settings that we place these characters into. So I don't think we can limit it just to one story or one book, and it needs to be a broader understanding of children's developing literacy skills, especially in those early childhood settings.
But, you know, when you're 3 or 4 at a childcare and, you know, excuse me, you just want to dress up as a princess or a superhero. That's your world.
Yeah, absolutely. And costume or no costume, children are still going to act out those scenarios. So I think it's important that this is the age where they're developing their sense of being, and that is part of the early childhood curriculum, the being, belonging, becoming. So children are developing their sense of identity, they're exploring different roles and what opportunities there are for them, what they like, what they don't like, and getting to develop into the person that they're going to become. So that is essential for that early age, absolutely.
So when the note went out and saying, you know, they want to, you know, it could impact negatively, you know, impact social play. What do you mean? Like, do you mean like if you dress up as a superhero, you could, I don't know, start shooting spider webs out of your hands, and that's not socially acceptable at childcare? Is that what this all means?
Yeah, I think there's this underpinning of violent play that comes with some of those kind of superhero characters that children see on television, and obviously that's an adult world that they're watching, and some of that violence is probably not appropriate for very young children to be demonstrating. But role play in itself is really important for children's imagination and their creativity and their language, because when they start to imagine these things in their head, they then have to communicate those to other people. So they're all developing their ability to communicate and their language skills through that role play and that imagination space. But I think it relies on educators being able to perhaps extend children's repertoire, because if they are getting into this rut of this unduly repetitive kind of fighting play, then educators really need to think about how they can expand or redirect children into different ways, but also still following what is obviously one of their interests.
I completely understand what you're saying here, but I keep going back to that advertisement where, and I can't remember what ad it is, but it's of children being young and they're playing in the lounge room and they're jumping on their cushions and it replicates then an image of them, you know, at sea playing pirates, and they're just this crazy, beautiful imagination. By us, you know, saying, oh, but, you know, dressing up as a superhero, it could have, you know, negatively impact social play. Is that just us adults thinking for a 3 or 4-year-old? I mean, isn't it really innocent play at that age?
Yeah, for the most part it is. And it is important that we give children opportunities to carry out those kind of scenarios so that they get the opportunity to kind of release that energy and to really try out those scenarios. And they really are just working out their relationships with others, what's suitable, what's not suitable, and really developing their thinking. And those are really important literacy skills, because if we want children to be able to develop their writing when they get to school, we want them to be creative in that space. In the early years, we need to offer lots of opportunities for them to be creative and to develop those ideas. Otherwise, when they get to school and the teacher says, right, sit down and write a story, they won't have any ideas because they won't have developed them in the early years and in those play scenarios.
So in the modern world that we live in, how important is it to get kids outside and to be kids? Because I think we have that argument all the time. Wrap them in cotton wool. Oh, no, they can't do that. And then there's computer games and all sorts. And, you know, oh, we've got to send them off to extra English lessons or maths tutoring or all of these things. How important is it for kids just to be kids?
Yeah, I mean, the importance of play has been researched and proven that is the best way for children to learn. So giving them those varying opportunities, and that's what early childhood education should do, offer lots of different opportunities for children to play out different scenarios with their peers and with older, kind of more supportive adults, is essential for helping them to develop those early life skills that they'll need, their imagination, their problem solving, their capacity to work with others. And so getting outside or even playing inside, but that free play opportunity is what sets the foundation for their later success. And it's not something that a lot of people realise, but the more opportunities children have to play when they're younger, has a more significant impact on their education as they get older.
Rachel, thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you, Jade.
That is Rachel Hedger there from Flinders University. Matthew in Sellex Beach has called in. Hello, Matthew.
Hello, how are you, Jade?
I'm not bad. How are you travelling?
Good, good. I was just ringing in to say, you know, it's a bit of a shame. It seems like getting old is actually not a bad thing, because at least we had childhoods.
I know. I feel the same. When I read this, and admittedly, the childcare's done a backflip, so that's great. But really, you can't dress up as, you know, a princess or a superhero. That's a rite of passage when you're a kid.
You're a child. Let the children be children. I mean, we have enough problems in the world today with adults not being adults, let alone telling a 3-year-old you've got to start to learn how this book starts and ends and what's in the middle and I was dyslexic. I didn't take any of that in ever of my schooling. I mean, to tell these kids they can't be children, the world's just going crazy. And listening to that story, I just thought, you know what, people of a certain age will be thinking, you know, it's nice to be getting old because at least we had everything in life with no hassles. We didn't have phones. We didn't have all the bull that goes on in life. And here we are picking on 3-year-old children.
Oh, I know, and psychoanalyzing everything that they do. Let them be kids. Matthew, thank you so much. Can you please stay on the line, because Tammy is going to send you a pass from Wallace Cinemas. You can catch the movie of the week there. We're going to take a short break. You're listening to Adelaide's 5AA.
Costs are on the rise and the weekly home budget is getting tighter. Well, never fear. We're here to help with 5AA's food, fuel or the footy. Listen to us, David and Will, from 6am.
Or Rowie and myself, Timmy G, for the drive home to win your choice of 3 prizes.
You could pick up a $200 food or fuel voucher, or maybe you'd prefer a night out with tickets to Showdown 52 and a $100 dinner voucher. The choice is yours. It's all thanks to our friends at Foodland. With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
With fuel prices the way they are, it's now more important than ever for your car to be fuel efficient. Peak performance means peak efficiency, and that means Automasters. Book now for an Automasters Peak Performance Injector service. Petrol or diesel, your Automasters specialist will clean and service your fuel injection system to ensure your vehicle is running at optimum efficiency. Save fuel, save money. Get the best out of your car. Call 1300 Automasters. Peak performance guaranteed.
Okay, let's get in the car, kids.
Dad, can I bring my seashells?
Just wash off that sand and dry them and pop them in this jar.
Okay.
Kids, rinse your feet.
Dad.
Lose that drink. What's in that bag?
Go pre-owned and enjoy the same feeling you get with a new Toyota. Tested and backed by Toyota.
Honey, is that coffee done?
Toyota certified. Pre-owned in a class of its own. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
From the fields up north
to the oceans west.
We comb the land for the food that's best.
Taste buds to tickle, a whole state to feed.
Homegrown goodness. That's what we need.
Everyday low prices, any time of year. Here you go.
Thanks! Trust the mighty South Aussies.
Great food lives here. Foodland, the mighty South Aussies, yeah.
Summer's coming and Beaumont's great outdoor range has just arrived. We're stocked up with pool tiles and pavers, outdoor 20mm porcelain tiles, and our inside-outside Microtech tile is perfect for a seamless alfresco area. Choose Beaumont's and be summer ready.
Hi, Alan Lark from Mannix Air. We'll keep saying ducted reverse cycle heating and cooling has never been more affordable. Here's why. At Mannix, we'll design, supply and install an Hitachi or Panasonic system to your smaller home from just $5,990, or a Mitsubishi or LG system to an average size home from just $6,990. That's right, year-round high-efficiency air conditioning at prices that won't break the budget. For a free quote, call 1300 Mannix or go online anytime.
Like shocks shooting through your body.
That's how some people describe their shingles pain. Shingles is caused by the reactivation of the chickenpox virus. While most people recover fully, up to 25% may experience long-term complications.
I had to cancel all my plans and struggled to work.
Up to 1 in 3 people risk developing shingles in their lifetime.
If you're 50 or over, don't let shingles affect your plans.
Talk to your doctor for more information. Individual symptoms may vary. Sponsored by GlaxoSmithKline Australia, Melbourne.
With fuel prices the way they are, fuel efficiency is more important than ever. And that means a peak performance injector service from Automasters. Ensure your vehicle is running at optimum efficiency. Save fuel, save money. Call 1300 Automasters.
It's the Berkowitz Big Brand Sale. Save up to 25% online or in store at Berkowitz Mile End.
This is Jade Robran.
Welcome back to Afternoons with Jade Robran on this Wednesday, August 17. Well, what does the movie star family, the Hemsworths and the Tassie Tiger have in common? Bit of a long bow there, isn't it? But they do, because they've thrown their support behind a bid to bring back the Tasmanian tiger. It has been nearly a decade since the tiger roamed the wilderness, but scientists are confident it could be just a matter of years until we see it again. How? How on earth do they plan on doing that? Well, let's speak with Professor Andrew Pask, who is the Professor of Biosciences at Melbourne University. Professor, great to have your company. Good afternoon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
This seems quite unbelievable. Can this actually be done?
Yeah, so, within the last decade or so, we've really moved forward so far in our ability to sequence DNA from extinct specimens, but then also do really complicated genetic editing so that we can actually, embark on projects as big as this.
Okay, how? Have you got the DNA? How?
Yeah, so one of the great things is that there's tons of thylacine specimens or Tassie tiger specimens in museums all over the place. So there's lots of repositories of really good material. And from that, we were able to sequence the entire blueprints or genetic code of the thylacine. So we've already done that part. Then the next bit is we still can't actually make that live. We can't bring that back to life. So the way that de-extinction works is you have to start with living material, and what you start with is material from the closest current living relative to a Tassie tiger. And for us, it's actually a really small-sized marsupial called a dunnart, a little mouse-sized one. And then what you do is you sequence the dunnart's genome, all of its DNA, and you figure out everywhere that they're different. And you go in and you edit your dunnart DNA in its living cell and turn it into a thylacine genome. And then basically you're left with a Tassie tiger cell, and then we can use cloning techniques and techniques like IVF to turn that cell then back into a whole living animal.
Oh, my golly, this is unbelievable. So have you been collecting... so it's been 100 years, right, since we've seen the Tassie tiger. So where have you found the DNA?
So we've collected specimens from collections all over the globe, but actually the one that was the best was in Museums Victoria, in the collection just down the road from me, ironically. And that was the one that had really, really intact strands of DNA that enabled us to piece that whole genome back together.
Goodness. And so this mouse sort of acts as a surrogate, and then what happens? Well, I guess it won't be able to feed and all of that, will it? Or what happens after it gives birth?
Yeah, so one of the great things about marsupials, one of their fantastic features, is they give birth to such small, tiny little babies. So even that mouse-sized marsupial can give birth to a baby thylacine. They're all about the size of a grain of rice in this particular group of marsupials when they're born, so absolutely tiny. And then once that baby's born, we definitely have to work on ways of, maybe building an artificial pouch or putting it into a larger marsupial that could serve as a surrogate for the pouch for it. But it just basically then has to be having milk until it's independent from mother.
Okay, this is unbelievable. What do you say to those, though, that are saying you're playing God, so to speak?
Yeah, I would say we certainly played God when we decided to wipe out the Tassie tiger. I mean, we put a bounty on their head and we exterminated them. I think we play God all the time when we change the environment and we, decimate large tracts of habitat for these really incredibly unique species. And so I think, at least with what we're trying to do, we're trying to reverse some of those mistakes we've made in the past and correct some of those wrongs. So I think, it's an odd line in the sand to draw that this is going too far, but everything else we've done up until this point was fine. So I think, I like to think we're playing the part of at least a conscientious, good scientist by trying to bring these species back if we can.
What would this mean for science?
Yeah, I think it's a massive leap forward in the sorts of technologies that we can apply to these sorts of projects. But I think, from a conservation perspective, some of these animals like the thylacine are really important for conserving other species in those populations where they lived. And, I think it would really increase the tools that we've got in our toolkit to apply for conservation work. This will be one other arm that we can go down. If we have a species that was absolutely critical in a particular ecosystem, but it's now extinct, as long as it's a recent extinction event, we can think about really trying to bring those species back.
Okay, so why the Tasmanian tiger? And I mean, we had politicians wanting to bring back dinosaurs. There's FIVEAA. I mean, you could make lots of money out of the choice.
Yeah, so, the Tassie tiger, I think, is probably the best example of a species that we should try and bring back. And it's because it was a human-driven extinction. We really wiped them off the face of the earth. It really did play an incredibly important role in that Tasmanian ecosystem. And its ecosystem still exists. So if we're able to recreate them, in 10 years' time, there's actually a place that we can put them back where they can survive and thrive once more. So that habitat still exists. And we have a lot of good samples around so that we've been able to sequence that genome, which is a really critical step before you can consider bringing one of these animals back. So because of all of those factors, this is just a really great example of an animal that if we can bring it back, there would be huge ecological benefits to bringing something like this back.
So is 10 years the timeline?
I think for 10 years we should have our edited cells and be starting that process of producing those little joeys. So yeah, I think that would be a fair estimate of, certainly this new partnership that we've set up with the large biotech company, which was the big announcement today, has given us access to, a huge amount of resources, a lot of scientists now working with us on this one specific problem. So I don't think there's ever before been a group of scientists focused on this question that have been so well resourced to try and figure this out. So hopefully, I would think we should be able to get somewhere very exciting within a decade.
What about humans? Could you bring them back?
Well, we've actually had that technology for a long time, right? We can do cloning in all sorts of species, and people did suggest that maybe human cloning was being done, I think, in China last year or the year before. And so it's certainly a controversy, right? But that is where the ethical grounds, you have to think about why you would want to do this and what the reasons are. Yeah. But certainly it's a lot easier to do it for a living animal like a human than it is to try and bring something back that's gone extinct like a Tassie tiger.
Good luck, Prof. Sounds amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Professor Andrew Pask there from Melbourne University. Thank you, everybody. I have got some really, really beautiful messages. You guys rock. Thank you very, very much. I needed a big FIVEAA family hug today, and I have certainly felt it. So thank you kindly, and I look forward to chatting with you all again tomorrow. Timmy G and Rowie Sports Show coming up next.
At Coles, get $15 off and 10 times Flybuys points when you spend $200 or more in one transaction online. Just enter the code SAVE15 at the checkout. Coles, value the Australian way. T's and